Hey y'all, it's Nikki. I have to tell you about Tecovas boots. I finally have a pair, and they are handmade, high quality, stylish, comfortable, and I even got them customized with leather stamping. So go get yours at the Tecovas flagship on South Congress or their store at the Domain. Plus, good news, Tecovas is opening a brand new store for your Western wear needs on Main Street in Georgetown. Swing by for their grand opening party September 27th through 29th for live music and freebies for the first 50 of y'all to get there. So come shop with me at Tecovas. That's TECOVAS.com. Don't go gently, y'all. Today on CityCast Austin, it's the Friday News Roundup. I'm here with newsletter editor Kelsey Bradshaw and a guest, Ricky Hardy from HAAM. And we're going to break down a few big stories that caught our eyes this week. We're talking about Travis County suing the state over voter registration efforts, Barton Springs Pool finally reopening, and it's still being hot enough to enjoy it. And it's almost HAAM Day, y'all. We'd like to thank Tecovas, our exclusive launch sponsor. It's Friday, September 20th. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hey, Kelsey. Hi, Ricky.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Okay, so let's get right into this news. So we're gearing up for Election Day, and of course, it's Texas, and so shenanigans are afoot. Attorney General Ken Paxton has been doing stuff all across the state that is just kind of working on my nerves personally, but causing a lot of trouble. He's turning to state courts to stop counties from mailing out voter registration forms to people who aren't currently registered. He says the Texas election code doesn't grant counties to collect information from private citizens, and such efforts are illegal because they have to gather addresses to mail them out. He says mailing the forms out also could result in ineligible voters showing up, aka, my personal opinion, that means people will find out that y'all don't like me. And but so they have to turn in the voters registration forms by October 7th. That's the deadline. He tried this in Bexar County, but the court found no reason to grant the request because the county had already mailed out the forms. So Tuesday, Travis County sued Ken Paxton and Secretary of State Jane Nelson and said they are violating the National Voter Registration Act. So first of all, I got to ask, are you both registered to vote?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Duh.
Okay, I knew that.
I love voting.
Yeah, same. So what do you think? Does this seem like a type of voter registration does it seem like voter suppression? I mean, it does to me, but
I registered to vote since I was 18. My sister recently, she just moved from Seattle, but she lived in Seattle for the last 10 years. And their system, they mail everybody their stuff and they can research every candidate from home, take their time, decide which policies matter to them. So they have a lot more, I think, an even playing field for all candidates to be able to really express their votes and views versus just being stressed going into the voting booth and having your little piece of paper. But we need to get the vote out. We need to get people registered. And I think that's why we have a justice system to see what's legal and what's not. And in the past, it was not legal to do this voter suppression of getting ballots sent out. So hopefully or registration, I guess, getting people registered, and we'll let the justice system prevail again to keep voter registration going.
Yeah, it's definitely not helping, like if the goal, I think in the last legislative session, lawmakers were talking about, they want to make registering to vote easier and being able to vote easier and things like that. And I don't think this helps that matter. And I think just as like a regular person, this story is really confusing to me. Like, why would he do that? I don't know. Like, it seems like I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I think being registered to vote everyone should be registered to vote. And everyone should go vote. Like, it's one of the most important things that we can do as citizens. And so I just don't understand Ken Paxton at all. And like, when I saw this happening in Bexar County, I was like, ooh, interesting. And then it happened to us. So I wonder who's next. Yeah.
I think it's just like the quote says they want to make it easier to vote and harder to cheat.
Okay.
And I find it interesting that that's the semantics that you chose. It's just like it's almost like projecting just a little just a
Yeah.
little bit to me. It's like, no, we don't want any cheating, but also we're going to make it as hard as possible for people. I think it just doesn't it speaks to accessibility.
Yeah.
I think we needed to define cheating also, because I think there's some different opinions of what cheating is. We are of the mindset that people are going to be honest and get in there. And I think there's other folks who are not sure what cheating means to them and are looking for reasons to call something cheating versus people who are eligible to vote getting out to vote.
Well, and they have to turn these forms in. Like someone has to approve your voter registration form. Like if you're doing something, Ken Paxton is worried that ineligible voters are going to show up on election day. And I feel like there are things in place to keep ineligible people from voting.
I don't know. It's just like people register to vote in bars. They come up to you outside the grocery store. People like it. There are people everywhere to register you to vote, like everywhere. And that's great if you can get out and about, if you're able to be out in the world and doing things. But if you're not, if it doesn't work for you, for whatever reason, to be out so people can approach you, and this was what works for you, then people should be able to do it. The access should be the same. You should be able to access the right to vote. And it feels like is the term dog whistle. It feels like it just reeks of desperation to me. And if we have, to your point, Kelsey, we have things in place to make sure that everything is correct. You have to turn this stuff in. It's like there are all these guardrails to make sure things are done correctly. So just chill out, Ken. Sit down. Leave us alone.
Right. No, like Texas already makes it hard enough to vote.
Yeah, they make it incredibly hard to vote. Like Texas is always doing something.
Yeah.
So
Segue.
next Tuesday, September 24th, is the 19th annual HAAM Day. So HAAM Day raises money to support musicians accessing mental health care, but it's more than a fundraiser. It is, quote, one of Austin's most iconic celebrations of community and live music and raising awareness. And also, y'all, it's an opportunity to see live music anywhere in the city. Like, like I know that sometimes people, are like, oh, it's hard to hear live music because you got to go downtown. No, HAAM has taken care of all of that. HAAM Day, you can see music all day, all over the city. It is one of my favorite things in the world that we do. Ricky, how did this start? What does HAAM do? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so HAAM is the Health Alliance for Austin Musicians, and we provide access to affordable healthcare for musicians in Central Texas. So that is a big variety of services that include primary health care, specialty care, mental and behavioral health. We do some wellness packages with the YMCA here, hearing, dental, vision. I mean, pretty much anything that has to do with healthcare, we're helping our musicians access it. We started in 2005. The first HAAM Day was in 2006, which is, I don't even know how many businesses we had. It was a decent amount, but it was not what it is today. This year, we're trending upward of 100 plus businesses participating, 250 performances. We like to joke and giggle that we have more performances in one day than South by does. And South by is one of our huge supporters. So we'll take that for our 24 hours of music. We are going to be kicking off at Lake Austin, HEB at 6 a.m. So you can go have your coffee there. And then we have music there all day until I think 8 p.m. We do have some bank lobbies that are still participating around lunchtime. We've got, speaking of lunchtime, Thundercloud, Schlotsky's, Taco Deli, Juiceland, Schultz. All of them are offering lunch deals that benefit HAAM, but also are having live music in some of their stores. We end the night all over town till 2 a.m. And it's just a fun day to be out.
Well, it's like 200 plus live performances, and it's over more than 100 venues.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys go to the HAAM.org, myham.org website, there's an interactive map There's a map.
Yeah, there's news this year. We're really stoked on, for us, it's really important that musicians know that we don't just serve Austin, we serve the Central Texas area. And so this year we really made some efforts to have music out in like Dripping Springs and up in Pflugerville and Lockhart and San Marcos. And so we're trying to kind of increase that awareness footprint since our services include those areas. And that map makes it easy. And
I love this. Y'all, you can click on it. So it's this map. You can click on the map. It's got these cute little red music notes. And when you click on the cute little red music note, it tells you who is going to be playing for Ham Day. This is so great.
And where to eat and where to shop.
Well, and having it outside of Austin, I think is you're outside of, downtown Austin is so important just because so many musicians over the years have had to move out of like the main part of town because it's so expensive in the live music capital of the world. So thank y'all for doing that.
Very true. We've got a lot of musicians say that they've stuck around either Austin or Central Texas because of HAAM. We're the only nonprofit, the only organization in the nation doing this.
I love Ham Day because it's an opportunity to go see all my musician friends. And so, and so I find out where my musician friends are going to be and where they're going to play. And then I go and then just kind of like stay and hear something new. I try to hop around a little bit, but I want to stay, listen to my friend, listen to maybe one new thing and then go to the next place. And it's just a great opportunity to learn about new musicians in the city and just maybe see some musicians that have been here for a while that you haven't seen in a minute. It's family friendly. So those of you that have little rugrats, you can take your little rugrats with you. Okay. I'm curious, Ricky, is there anyone that you are excited to see?
For me, Ham Day is always about finding new music, but I also really love that one of the things that makes our setup at HEB so cool is that it's mostly solo, duo, stripped down performances. And so there's some musicians that you might not normally see in a more acoustic, intimate setting and also at a grocery store. You definitely aren't seeing them at grocery stores. But Stephanie Bergera is a dear friend of mine, and she's been the lead singer of Bitty Bitty Banda forever. And she is doing her first, I wouldn't say first, but close to first solo performance with her new country act. And so she'll be doing an intimate acoustic thing at HEB, but then also she'll be performing at Still Austin. We're doing a Women in Music curated showcase at Still Austin Whiskey on Tuesday evening. So
what? Shout out to Stephanie Bergera because
she's the best.
Let me tell you something. We're talking about just pure talent, and then also just incredibly nice.
Pure goodness. Yeah.
I like really nice people. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen her and the band, like, you just please make it's worth it. It's special. She's special. It's worth it. Go see her. That's it. Full stop.
And I'm sure you know this about her, but her obsession with George Strait is true and real. And so this country exploration for her, I think, is really bringing her back to her roots.
What about you, Kelsey?
I didn't know there was going to be a 6 a.m. Lake Austin HEB situation.
Oh, yeah. Before the stores even open, you can get in there and...
I don't even care who's playing. That sounds really fun. I haven't been to that new HEB. Maybe I just want to go to the new HEB.
It's fancy. I will say I know for sure at 6 a.m. Scott Strickland is kicking things off.
Ooh.
And he's also an amazing human who's very active in the music community. Yeah.
I love Scott Strickland.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love him.
Okay, wow, I'm in.
We got to coerce them to do that 6 a.m. slot because it's early for musicians. But I think that's another testament. One thing we haven't touched on is these musicians are giving back on HAAM Day. It's the only day of the year that HAAM doesn't pay artists. And it's because musicians are constantly asking us how they can give back to us. So this is the one day that we ask them to do that. And I think the proof is in the pudding. We have people getting up at 6 a.m. Well, Scott will be at HEB much earlier than 6, but 6 a.m. is when they get to come play and talk about why HAAM is important to them. And then Scott's actually playing, I think, at least one other time that evening, if not 2 more times. We have a lot of musicians who play multiple times, either with different bands or they're orchestrating their own showcases throughout the evening. And so there's a handful that they're just out all day. And Stephanie's one, Scott's one, Zach Morgan is one. He does the midnight snack with Miggy Milla and Ty Austin. So I mean, it's just a fun day, and you might see people more than once. You might use that as an excuse to see one performance of theirs and then go catch something new at a different time.
I'm seriously working out my day right now as we're talking.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about why the musicians are so willing to help HAAM, because this, it can be overstated. This is a fundraiser. So why don't we talk a little bit about why this is so important, do you think, to musicians?
I mean, I think the main thing for us when HAAM was formed, we didn't have the Affordable Care Act yet, and our founder was a music nut and was also kind of serving as a life coach for a band in town. That was not her day job. That was her passion. And she noticed when they got sick, they would wait to go get treatment for whatever the illness was. And sometimes they would escalate into something that was more, potentially life-changing, but definitely missing a gig. So she came up with this idea and connected the right people, basically saying our musicians they don't have insurance through an employer. They need to have access to have preventative health care so they don't get stuck into an emergency. So I think, for her, that was this vision that she had, was that she wanted her musicians to be healthy so that she could keep singing the music she loves. Fast forward a little bit of time, at that point, we had and still do have a great partnership with Ascension Seton. They were one of our first healthcare partners. Since then, the Affordable Care Act has come into play, and we have several really amazing partners that help us ensure that our musicians have insurance through the Affordable Care Act. So that means that they come to us, we qualify them as a HAAM member, which is just musicianship, proving that you, no offense to Matthew McConaughey, you're not just sitting in your closet playing bongos, you're out in the community performing. We have some eligibility requirements as far as their income and where they live. But once that happens, we have a group of folks, we partner with foundation communities to help our musicians understand the marketplace. Because I think for a lot of people, even if you've had insurance your entire adult life, insurance is confusing and scary. And so we have people who are there to help our musicians understand what it means, pick out the right plan. Just because a plan is affordable doesn't mean it's the right plan for you. So our folks help ask, what medications are you taking? Do you have any chronic conditions? Do you have a doctor you like to see? So that way they're making the most educated decision for themselves. I will say Texas did not expand Medicaid. So we have some really great local county services through Central Health, and it's called MAP, and I cannot remember what that stands for now, but that's for our folks under a certain amount of income.
Medical assistance program.
There you go. So we have some folks who are utilizing those services, and then we have people who are making enough money to qualify for the Affordable Care Act, but then there's this gap of folks in the middle. And we have some really great partnerships and resources in town. So we're constantly working to make sure that we find services for them until we have a permanent solution. All of that said, our musicians every day talk to us about how we have either saved their life physically or saved their life financially. Having a heart attack when you're uninsured, one, you could lose your life, but also you could land in a mountain of medical debt. And so for us, it's really important that our musicians have access to insurance, know how to use it, and then when something happens, we're there to help them figure out what the next steps are.
So 2 things. One, a lot of my experiences in human resources administration, benefits, authorizations, and I want to echo what you said about insurance is created to make people feel confused and want to give up easily and not ask questions. It's intentional. It's intentionally that confusion around insurance is intentional because you won't ask questions. You won't figure out what your rights are. And it allows companies to do things that they shouldn't. So I love the fact that HAAM helps clear that up and makes it a lot easier for musicians to understand what medication, what insurance really can do for you, how our insurance system can work for you. I love that. I just feel like it has to be stated. It's a big deal. A lot of people give up because they don't understand, because it's so confusing and they don't want to be bothered. So it's really awesome. And then also, as a musician that has had to work full time while being a musician at night, I think another thing that HAAM does is it allows musicians to be career musicians. Mm-hmm. And that is a huge, huge deal. If you don't have to have a full-time job, you can concentrate on your art and you can concentrate on your music and do what you want to do and what you're called to do. So it's really special.
You know, we have musicians all the time that say that HAAM has helped them feel or legitimize their career. They are not just hobby musicians. They are folks who are creating a craft.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of musicians who have part-time jobs, multiples of them, because as we said earlier, it's expensive to live in Austin. But it's one of those things that your art is a career path, and we just haven't, as a society, valued it financially enough yet. So HAM's happy. And I mean, for me personally, I love live music. So if I can reduce one barrier for a musician to take that one piece of stress off, then they can create this music that we love and why we live here.
Right. Now, is there a special reason as to why it happens on a Tuesday?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that I would call it super special, but so it's always been on a Tuesday. Originally, that was the studies and data showed, and we have not conducted this study recently, but that restaurants and businesses and bars had slower traffic. So the hope was to increase traffic for them. But the biggest thing for us is because our musicians are playing for free that day, we are not impeding on paid gigs. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, if we ask a musician to play for free, they're going to be turning down a gig that's paying well, you know?
Love it. Love it.
That's smart.
That is very smart. I love to hear. So everybody just please take a second, take a moment, go to HAAM or go to one of the, or just donate, actually. I'm just going to straight up.
Literally, I was just about to say, everyone go buy some merch. The merch is really cute.
We have cute merch, yeah.
Buy some merch. It is so cute.
There's a ton of ways. You can donate, you can volunteer. I love when people take the day off and just treat it like a music festival and come out.
Mm-hmm.
We have tons of volunteer shifts that are an hour, a couple of hours. And so if you wanted to, say, come volunteer in the morning and then have the afternoon to do music, we have companies that send employees out as an employee volunteer day. And then, of course, if you need to sneak out for lunch, happy hour dinner, we got all of those covered.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. And now I know that there are volunteer opportunities. I might look into that next year. That sounds amazing.
Nikki is taking next Tuesday off, FYI, for HAAM Day.
Good. We'll be there.
It's also my mom's birthday. So yeah.
Just letting our boss know.
Tell us where you're going to be. So maybe we need to have a birthday song for her somewhere.
Listen, Daisy May is not...
Daisy May?
She is not as extroverted as I. But I will buy her a HAAM Day t-shirt. Sure will do that.
Very good.
Yes, I will. Y'all, it's a very awesome thing. It's a way to give back to our musicians for being so good to us and keeping us full of art and music. So make sure you support it. I sound like a broken record, but I feel very strongly about HAAM Day.
And that's HAAM with 2 A's.
2 A's.
Yes, 2 A's.
Yes. Sorry.
Cautionary tale.
If you're Googling it. I, of course, thought we were always talking about the meat ham. So 2 A's, everyone.
Our friends at Schlotzsky's are running a ham and cheese sandwich on HAAM Day. So if you want to get the meat fix and the music, we've got it all.
Perfect.
One of these days, we'll have to talk about my obsession with Schlotzsky's. I love it.
You know they're from Austin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Started right here in little old Austin.
Oh.
Yeah. Schlotzsky's is an institution. It like Schlotzsky's helped me through college. Schlotzsky's is incredible. They could do no wrong. I love them so much. But speaking of things that can do no wrong, Barton Springs.
Yes.
Perfect segue. Another great segue. I'm so sorry.
Everybody can relax. Barton Springs pool, which has been closed since August 29th, is back open.
I know, Nikki, you're the most excited about this as a person who loves the outdoors.
Listen, I cannot tell you the last time I went to that place. So I'm sorry. I know it is the crown jewel of the city. That is no shade. It is just not the cold water and the slime. I no, thank you. It's gorgeous and I love it for what it is.
It's called nature.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll be happy to know our executive producer, Eva, went yesterday morning when they reopened. And she said the water is like so clear and clean. Not that it's ever really dirty, but it can get, people are kicking that mud around.
Mm-hmm.
There's algae. People have sunscreen on. It can get a little, not murky, but like a little murky. Anyway, so it's really clean right now. So maybe you should go today.
or this weekend. It's going to be hot. I don't know if y'all know this, but I feel like that there could be a little conspiracy here because a meteorologist said, and I quote, per a Facebook meme, get ready because this is false fall. Second summer is coming. And that was a week and 2 weeks ago. And here we are back in the 100-degree mark. So I'm very happy that Barton Springs is either conspiring with this meteorologist to prove a point, or we've just got a hot second summer.
They're trying to pull you into those cold, freezing waters. But so
that's marketing.
That's a good segue to what was happening. Do you want to know what was happening at the pool?
Yes.
Trying to pull you in to a hole.
Literally. So there's an abandoned pipe, a skimmer pipe that was like put in the pool in the 40s. And then in the 90s, they like basically decommissioned it and it's just kind of been hanging out down there. And they like removed lots of it. There's just some parts of the pipe left. And on August 29th, one of the workers there found 2 holes in the pipe. And they're like pretty substantial because this has happened before. Like in 2018, I think a couple of holes were found, but they were really small, easily repaired, like nothing to write home about. But this one, they were like, we have to shut down because it could like trap a swimmer. Like it was sucking water in.
Oh my God.
And so it was very dangerous. And so it closed right before Labor Day weekend. And everyone was like, whoa. Like what's going on? And then earlier this week, I wrote a story for the newsletter just about everything that's happening and how repairs could take a couple of weeks, and parts of Barking Springs, which is commonly known as the free side past the dam where you can like bring your dog. Parts of Barking Springs were like closed off because they were doing construction. They're going to put like cement and gravel into this pipe so it doesn't suck any swimmers under. And then literally the next day they were like, we're open.
Haha, never mind.
So it didn't take weeks. They reopened on Thursday morning. The water is apparently very clear and nice. They filled one end of the pipe with gravel and then the other end with cement. So no one will get sucked under. So that's exciting.
It's like nature is constantly reminding people like, get away from me.
You could die.
Don't get too close because this is what I could do. Y'all, the pool repair and plan was designed and implemented to avoid disruption to the endangered salamanders.
Yes.
And to protect the salamanders, staff limited the size and duration of any drawdown of the pool, and salamander biologists were present during the construction to monitor it.
Do you know how bad I want to be a salamander biologist who's there to monitor construction?
Do you know I have been hearing about salamanders my entire life in Austin, Texas?
Well, me too, Nikki. I heard about them in San Marcos because we have the blind salamander at Ocarina Springs.
We do.
And I don't know that I want to be a salamander biologist, but I want to just go pet one. Just
wait, Ricky, do you live in San Marcos?
I grew up in San Marcos.
Okay. I went to school there and I'm obsessed with it unhealthily. When the salamanders went missing,
it was a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, we can talk about that later.
They're back.
Yeah. They were like, I think something bad happened to them and they were just like, oh no, someone stole them. Anyway. I'm happy there were salamander biologists there. Very nice.
I'm happy they're there. I'm happy they're safe. Have you ever seen a salamander?
No.
It looks like something out of a nightmare. And listen,
it's a cute nightmare.
It doesn't make it any less important. It is important. All living things are valid. I mean, yes, baby, let's save them salamanders because they have been pounding it into my brain since I was like 7. So save the salamanders, but they are nasty.
Nikki doesn't think it's cute when she says all living things are valid. She's like, yeah, I guess they should be alive.
So here's what we should really talk about.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I hope you're going to say what I think you're going to say.
When they were letting everyone know that the pipe was broken and that they were closing it down, because what they did is they messed up. And when they posted, they used the term indefinitely. So at least 8 people in my life were like, what does indefinitely mean? Does it mean forever? Or is it closing it down forever? They used the word indefinitely. So they put out this video that just reminded us those old Sarah McLachlan videos in the
It's so
arms
funny.
of the, and it's like this slow, sad music, and the same video of the camera going up to the hole and looking at the hole and backing up and then
Yeah.
going back to the
It's
hole.
so
It is
funny.
the most dramatic 2 minutes I have ever seen about a hole. It is incredible. So if you have not seen,
I have not, but I will call out that
you have
it's
to.
not over dramatization that Barton Springs closing is a big deal.
Oh, yes,
So-
but this video is just images of the hole.
Exactly. It's just images of the hole.
Yeah.
So if the video was like, holy crap, Barton Springs is shutting down, everybody run like we're on fire. Yes, I'm there. Because that is exactly the response that everybody was feeling.
But it's literally like Sarah McLachlan holding a shelter dog, being like, look how sad this dog is. Like,
Someone should superimpose her with the
with
pipe.
the pipe. Exactly.
like it's almost, I so wish they had just made a video where they're just like flicking off the hole. Like, yeah, we hate this hole.
Yeah. Or they should have found Sarah McLachlan and had her swim down and just pointing at the hole sadly.
Sarah just arms crossed, like shaking her head, like, this hole.
This hole.
No, yeah, but people are
upset.
Yeah, people are upset. It makes sense. People go there. There are like 70 and 80-year-olds who go there at the crack of dawn literally every single
day.
morning. And so
Yeah.
I can't imagine being without, a lot of people refer to it as their medicine. So I can't imagine.
There are people in my life literally that they go to Barton Springs for their mental health. Like
Yeah.
that's just, all jokes aside. It is genuinely the crown jewel of this city.
Yeah.
It's therapeutic. Like people do the polar plunge every year. It's a huge part of our city. It's a huge part of who we are. We are glad that it is back open,
Yeah.
especially since it's popping on back up to 100 degrees every day. And it's free before and after 8.
Yeah.
So that, like, just mornings and nights.
8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Yeah.
But if you're like me and you prefer to have your fun inside, I have our Don't Go Gently tip for the weekend.
Oh my God, incredible segue.
Here's your Takova's Don't Go Gently segment of the week. There's truly something for everyone in our Don't Go Gently tip for this weekend. Sunday is the 27th annual Austin Museum Day, when it is absolutely free to visit more than 30 area museums. Now, of course, all of the well-known museums of town are participating, like the Bullock, Texas State History Museum, the Blanton Museum, Omloff Sculpture Garden Museum, the LBJ Presidential Library, but you are also free to peruse through our lesser-known museums like Austin Museum of Popular Culture, the Texas Music Museum, and Save Austin Cemeteries. And if you haven't yet made it to the Texas Science and Natural History Museum, now is your chance. Join the fun and be on the lookout for special activities and exhibits all throughout town. Don't go gently, go into Takova's and stay inside. Thank you guys so much for rounding up the news with me this week. This has been a blast. Ricky, thank you so much for being here and telling us all about HAAM. This is awesome. Kelsey, thank you for being hilarious as usual.
Thank you.
Oh my God, no problem.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. We'll have links to HAAM Day and the Barton Springs pool video we talked about in our show notes. Our executive producer is Eva Ruth Moravec. Our producers this week are Joyce Tang, Selena C. Reynolds, and Lizzie Goldsmith. And I'm your host, Nikki Devon. Our Hey Austin newsletter editor is Kelsey Bradshaw. Music is by Nelson Valente Aguilar of Como Las Movies. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.